Gratitude Cafe, positive radio to feed your soul.
You're a cheerleader. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Benny.
Morning, Sue.
You're busy today, I can tell. Oh,
you
my
got me
goodness.
working like a bee.
You are. Well, happy Tuesday.
Yeah. You made it sound like what?
I was like, wait a minute, it's Tuesday. I have a show every Tuesday, but I've lost a couple days somewhere. I even had to send you that text. I'm like, Benny, is my show at 8 or is it 9? I've just been so confused. How many years have I been doing this?
Hey, brain spasms, that happens.
I just is, yeah, a little bit on the wonky side, but I totally own it and I'm okay with that. It's the love month. I mean, it's love month for me all the time because I just love to love and it's important to love. And we're going to talk today, well, probably diving into some love and transformation, alchemy, what that looks like, defining alchemy, some tips, some tools, because you guys all know how passionate and powerful tools, practical real life tools are when you're going through said transformation. Now, audience, you have heard me say, and it's a different slight of language. Instead of a challenge or something like that, it's an opportunity. I come from that space of an opportunity and I employ the CCs in life. So you have compassionate curiosity versus going into fear, resentment, and all that. Why don't you get curious? Have some compassion for yourself. It's not about you doing something wrong or the other person doing something wrong. Discover it, talk about it, bring compassion and love into the conversation and the transformation. So we have an amazing guest. Lorie's going to be joining us in just a minute. So before that, I want to remind all of you about my online C2C course, and that is going from crazy to clarity. And it's all real life, real time, sustainable tools that help you to self-regulate, help you to stay in that compassion, help you to foster the CCs. That's a superpower tip that I talk about. And it's all about reclaiming your personal power, that essence of you, defining that, what that looks like, the environment and the people that you surround yourself with, and really reclaiming that, redesigning it, because it's you, it's just 2.0. And it doesn't mean that things are wrong. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It's an evolution and it's a transformation. And that's why I bring people like Lorie and other beautiful guests on the show so we can get or dive deep even more so in our transformation and give you some love bumps too. I like my love bumps. Give me some love bumps. All right. So with the C2C, remind all of you can go to SueLundquist.com, the letter C, the number 2, and the letter C. And of course, if you would like some one-on-one time with me, let's have that conversation and see if we're a right match. And you can, of course, go to SueLundquist.com and do that as well. All right, I am going to bring on our guest. I'm going to do the formal introduction, of course. And for all of the radio world, hello. And if you are listening maybe on one of the apps or something like that, right, just a reminder that we're live on YouTube. So if you want to see our smiling mugs and our goofiness all live, you can do that on YouTube as well. And during a typical radio commercial break, we're still live on YouTube and goofing around and answering questions and just being us. So if that's something you'd like to do, you could go to YouTube and all you have to do is type in 11:50 a.m. and we're golden and good to go. If you want a copy of the show, please go to SueLundquist.com and sign up for the newsletter. We send out content, quality content. I'm not going to spam you. So if that's something that resonates with you and feels good, do that, SueLundquist.com. All right. The Alchemy of Inner Work. The Alchemy, look at that baby. For those of you in radio world, you guys can't see me, but I'm holding up the book. This is a baby, another baby of Lorie and Benjamin. So we've got Lorie live with us today. I want to do a quick shout out to Benjamin, your love, and to say thank you, because I know he couldn't join us today. He had some other obligations that he had to take care of, but I just wanted to say a shout out to him as well. I'm going to do the formal introduction and then let's get to know Lorie. Let's get to know the backstory and how you gave birth to this beautiful transformational book and how it all came about. Sound good?
Sounds great, Sue. Sounds great.
All right. And I love this because it's Eastern and Western medicine, right? So Lorie holds a master's degree in acupuncture from the Traditional Acupuncture Institute and Training how do you pronounce that, love? Because I don't want to butcher the name.
Oh, where I went to school was Columbia, Maryland.
Well, it says
archetypal psychology.
How do you say that? No,
archetypal. And then say it with me now. Archetypal. No, thank you for asking.
And I'm looking at the spelling, and that's not how it's spelled either.
Right. Sue, thank you for asking. Yes, and we can talk about what archetypes are later on.
We can do that.
But it's a way of working with the soul, really. Simple terms, it's soul psychology. Okay, let's make it simple. They make these bios.
Soul psychology, so I can pronounce
soul psychology. Sometimes I hear that bio and I'm like, who is that person? But anyway, go ahead. What else did I do?
It sounds so sexy, but I like the word soul psychology. That resonates. That goes in, right?
Me too.
All right. So it's soul psychology, Miss Lorie.
Psychology,
wonderful.
Yes.
Yes. She is a member of the faculty of the Tri-State College of Acupuncture in New York City and leads workshops and training nationwide. And she also has a YouTube channel too, so you can go check her out there. With her husband, Benjamin Fox, she co-founded A New Possibility. P.S. I love that website. Of course you got that.
Yes.
A New Possibility, a global healing learning community. Welcome, sweetheart. Welcome. And their latest baby, The Alchemy of Inner Work. That's the book and the conversation that we're going to be having today. So welcome.
Great. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I love meeting you. I love being in your face. I say, yes, choose love, choose trust. Beautiful.
Oh, yay!
And you are magic. I just saw that. Yes. We are magic. We are magic. Beautiful. Yes. Yeah. I think in a way, if you were to ask me what's the summary of the message of the book in 3 words, I'd say we are magic. And we just forgot.
Let's talk about forgetting. We've got 3D world and society, and we got in-laws, we got marriages, we got divorces, we got kids, we have distractions.
We have big distractions.
We do.
But like you said, those distractions are all opportunities.
They are, right? We're the same tribe, that language, and it softens the blow, Yes. They're opportunities, and the language that I choose to use and that I coach and teach about. And it's a self-regulating too. It's a mindset. You choose that, or you can go into fear or doubt. And then of course you have the chemical reaction that keeps you addicted to that. And we'll have that conversation later. But
exactly.
Yes. Lorie, please. I want to get to know you. The audience wants to get to know you. Please tell me about what is your journey and your transformation? There's the analogy in the conversation. You teach what you most need to learn.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So I think that my journey, and people say, well, when did you start doing this? And I usually, when I go in and I say, when did I start doing this? And I think it was in utero.
The soul came out.
Right. I came in like this, I came in knowing really my earliest memories are this sort of feeling of so much love and excitement about being alive, about that gift. I mean, I knew that even as this I write about it in the book, that memory of being with my parents in spring in a garden and looking out and saying, oh my gosh. And then on the flip side of that, that moment, which, happens for all of us sooner or later, when you realize, oh, the world in some way has forgotten that magic, or in alchemical terms, which we'll get into, we've forgotten that the divine is right here. That the magic, divine is right here. It's not out there far away somewhere else. The kids know that. My granddaughter, she's 18 months, and I just go over there and we're like,
Oh!
you know it, I know it, let's go there.
They're shining from the inside.
The shining, exactly, Sue. That shine, and that's something that the Taoists, the Chinese, understood was spirit. They call it that. They call the word is Shen.
Shen, inner shining, is it?
Yes, it's your shining, it's your radiance.
Feel that, audience. It's perfect timing for me. Yeah. Of course, everything's in perfect divine timing, right?
Yeah.
And to have somebody like yourself exuding that love and that transformation and providing.
And I feel the same when I see you. It's like I saw you and I was like, oh, good, she's got the Shen. She's got the shine. And then, of course, when two people are shining, it gets bigger. And bigger, and all our work for Benjamin and me is about the idea that we do this together, we do this in community, and that's the way, as we say right on our website, inner work leads to outer change. That's how we're going to ultimately heal our planet.
It is. It's all an inside job, and and then it becomes the human's choice to decide, and I've got this whole thing in my head. There's 3 stages of that transformation. It's awareness, clarity, and then transformation. The awareness aspect.
Beautiful. I love that. Actually, I track that. Yeah.
And it's an acronym. ACT, act now.
Beautiful.
In your life. So awareness, clarity, transformation. When you become aware, when you choose to become aware, because it is a choice, and there's lots of opportunities. I say that radio world with the little tags on each side. There's lots of those opportunities, right?
Right.
Yeah. Can we talk about the definition with the book of alchemy and the inner work? And obviously, and let me read the full title. It's The Alchemy of Inner Work, a guide for turning illness and suffering, however that defines in your life, adjective, whatever, into true health and well-being. So I encourage, when I read something like this, and it's just one of those little superpower tips that I talk about, whether it's affirmations or something like this, I say to my clients, myself, my audience, I say, and I turn it into a question. Do I want alchemy? Do I want inner work? Do I want illness and suffering, or do I want true health and well-being?
Yeah.
And that's your awareness practice, right?
Yes. Yes.
My whole body went ding.
And I love that you start with the awareness, because that is, we can say that to each other, but for me, just because I love studying like what people were thinking 3,000 years ago, it's just one of my things. I like doing it, so some people call that scholarship. I just call it passion and fun.
Fun and passion, yeah.
So I read these texts, and one of the very early, what we call alchemical texts. So this whole body of work that we're going to talk about starts with a line. It says, alchemy begins when we reverse, they call it the handle of the stars. And when I was first read that, I was like, what are they talking about? The handle of the stars. But what they're talking about in this magical language of alchemy, the stars are that shine, that radiance we were just talking about.
Oh, my body just said yes. The full body goosebumps.
Yeah, the stars are what I see when I look in your eyes. Even in virtual space, I can feel it in my heart. So that's the starlight, that we're all born with that. And but its tendency is like, well, let me see what's going on out there.
Oh,
blame that person. Look at that person. What's their shininess? And what the ancient alchemists understood, that you and I have come to through our own work, is that transformation begins when I turn that light and look inside of myself and bring my awareness to my own inner experience. Awareness. And I would add to the awareness is to care, that I care about what's happening inside of me with a compassionate caring, and also a commitment to make the changes I need to make. So the awareness, that's something people have known for a long time. And as you said, it is a choice. It's the one choice we really have.
And it's jumping off the bridge. It metaphorically, I mean,
everything changes.
Everything. And audience and everybody that's listening to you or to us and to you, be courageous. That's why we are here. Be courageous. Step in the rink. We've got your back. We're going to love on you. The teacher will appear when the student's ready. I can't tell you how many times that has happened. It will. The awareness comes and then you're like, oh, okay, well, then I need to learn that. And then guess what? The clarity comes in where the education is, and that all happens. And then you process the new education, and then you go to transformation where you integrate it to where you align and feel it for yourself. So it's the act now. But this isn't about my program. This is about your beautiful
Well,
program.
it is. It's about all our programs, right? Because we're all weaving this new web. That's the thing, is it's up to us. I feel like we are weaving a new kind of garment for our planet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a garment of love. And we're all doing it together. Yes. So it's about
the tapestry of it.
Yes.
Right?
And all of us. That. We can't do it alone. That's the incredible thing. And we're not meant to.
No, nor I am not under that illusion that I don't want to do that. I want everybody in here, because I learned I'm like, no, that is not at all what I want. No.
And that's why Benjamin and I started a new possibility. I mean, sometimes I joke with the people in my mentorship programs and I say, well, I did this so I had people I could talk about the stuff I love, that I have people to talk to, Yes. But we build these communities for that purpose. So your program, our community, A New Possibility, the book, all of it's about, we're busy weaving a new web of consciousness for the planet.
Oh, so true. Okay, walk me through. So there was something that caught my eye in the book, and I hadn't heard it before. And it's literally the first page. It's under the disclaimer.
Yes.
And it says, body felt senses experience of the medicine while honoring the sanctity of privacy of the very personal work that happens in the treatment room. The body felt sense experience.
Sue, you're so good, because those three, body felt sense, I do believe is probably the key to all the alchemical work we do. And you picked it right up. And it's great stuff.
It is. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. So when, just circling back around, so people, let's just circle back to alchemy, since it's in the title, and people are like, what is it? And it's kind of like this idea of shamanism too. People say, well, what is shamanism? I've heard of shamanism. So alchemy is the way that human beings systematically studied the natural world between the shamanic times, which were indigenous, tribal, verbally transmitted traditions all over the world. We had indigenous tribal people singing, drumming, but they weren't writing books. They weren't documenting. So this was a transmitted through lineages and stories. Alchemy began as shamanism was waning, which was when people were settling down in towns and cities and began studying cycles of nature. They began doing agriculture, astrology, inner work practices like yoga, qigong, all that. These are alchemical practices.
Okay.
As opposed to shamanic. So some of the distinctions are that alchemy happens, it's often documented. We have texts, we have diagrams, people were writing by this time, and it would happen in laboratories or in fixed places as opposed to wandering. it went on. It started, we find alchemy in Egypt in their work with embalming. We find it in China in the work with developing herbal remedies, cooking, changing things, essential tinctures, essential oils,
I like saying
all
that word,
those things like that we like to cook and make. Those are alchemical.
Okay.
And it went on until really, we know Isaac Newton was an alchemist in the 1600s, Robert Boyle's law that we all learned in high school about the movement of gases. They were also alchemists, which means they believed that spirit was alive in the natural world. They were searching for they called it the quintessence, that light.
Yes, it's the light.
And then after about 1700, the Renaissance, we went into modern science. So alchemy is that whole way of looking at the world between shamanism and science. And one of the big distinctions when they say alchemy is failed chemistry, it's different from chemistry. Alchemy really believes that the soul is alive in the natural world. They don't separate spirit and matter. And that, when we moved into modern science, was the big sort of shift. Now we're looking at a material world, studying it mathematically, quantitatively, in a linear way. Very important. We've discovered incredible things, but you can't work with the soul that way.
I was just having a conversation just last night about, working in the 5D realm and beyond,
Yes.
Me speaking to spirit, tapping into that frequency. And I live that. I know it. It's in my shine. It is what it is. I turn on the light. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yes.
It's that, it's a frequency.
Yes.
Just having this conversation. So it's beautiful that, of course, it's happening now. Yes.
Yes. And so the alchemists were living in that frequency.
Wow.
And
working and providing information based on that alchemy.
Yes, and tools that we can use, although, as you say, we're moving now into even a more, with quantum physics, with what we know now, we're catapulting into the fifth dimension in a whole new way. It's just my belief that we need to bring the past, the wisdom of the past with us. And that's
absolutely, that's the elders. Yes. It's the building blocks. It's the foundation pieces, Now, and the audience knows this, you take what resonates with you and leave the rest. And then you may hear it again an hour later or 5 years later, and you'll be like, now it fits.
Yes, exactly.
So bring all of that wisdom, bring it, educate, dance in it, swim in it, love in it, whatever you need to do. And it'll land where it's supposed to land.
Absolutely.
And, don't try to control it, my lovely ones. That's attraction.
Right.
I know nothing about that.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. The flow, being in the flow. In Chinese medicine, we say where there's flow, where there's free flow, there is no pain. Where there's no free flow, that's where we start suffering.
Yes. No suffering. Audience, that's a question for you. Turn it into a question. Do you want the grace and ease? Do you want the flow, the love? Now, granted, and I think Lorie would agree with this, that yes, if you do have the free flow and that shine and that essence, there's still going to be opportunities for you to learn and gain wisdom and that emotional intelligence of where you're at and evolving in your life. Right? Don't take those opportunities as, oh, snap, what have I done wrong? Or I'm not on the right path. No, it's your soul, it's your shine, it's your path that's saying, oh, wait, let's learn this. Let's take a little look at this. Again, foster the CCs. It's not that you've done something wrong. It's an education. I like the plan words and acronyms like that. And it is, I say this before, and it's actually in my second book that it's coming out. It's a lesson learned and earned. All you have to do is take the L off.
Yes. Yes. And, Sue, that goes back to the basic premise of alchemy, which most people, even if they don't know anything much about alchemy, You know it's the art of transformation, and you know what we're transforming is the lead into gold.
Yep.
So what you just said is exactly that. We're transforming the learning into earning. We're transforming the impasse into possibility. And that's what all the work is about.
Yes.
How do we do that?
How do we do that?
How do we do that in these bodies that we travel in, where, as you say, the opportunities, the lessons, they don't stop as long as we're incarnate. That's what we come here for. Otherwise, I think, like, why would we come here otherwise?
Oh, yeah. And it's not, and walk me, talk me through it. It's not about bigger, better, or greater. It's just an evolution and expansion.
Yes.
We humans are programmed from a young age, bigger, better, greater. That's a 3D thing. That's a human thing. I'm going to achieve. I'm going to be bigger, better, greater. The ego and all that other stuff. This is the alchemy of transformation and the iteration, evolution of expansion, expanding your energy, opening your heart, getting that shine on. There's your shirt. Getting my shine on.
Exactly. And again, what the Chinese would call it is allowing your radiance. It's not an allowing, just being that conduit for the radiance.
That right there, allowing, surrendering. Those are my opportunities over and over and I've raised 3 teenage girls, so I think you understand. I've had plenty of opportunities and still do, right? Ooh, and how that lands. So talk to me. So of course, I love to intuit books and go through and where I'm supposed to energetically have the conversation. And you started to talk about the body. And of course, I opened the page and I went to page 31. It says the subtle body.
Yes.
May we open that conversation, concept and all of that?
Beautiful. And that, of course, brings us back to, in our wandering web-like way, to the body felt sense.
Yeah.
The alchemy of the body felt sense. So, yes. So as you know, we've been kind of circling around this idea that one of the distinctions of alchemy, as opposed to modern science and modern philosophy or worldview, is that the alchemical worldview is where the divine is already in matter. Spirit is here. It's not separate. And one of the great quotes, people who've ever read the Tao Te Ching, which some people know, it's kind of popular, and it says, the Tao that can be known is not the true Tao, and yet the Tao can be known through, and they call it the mysterious feminine. The mysterious feminine is everything that's yin, everything that's embodied, this valley of being that we travel in. And that is how we know the divine. We can't know it when it's out there, 2 trillion miles away in heaven somewhere. We know it by how it shows up in the natural world, in, our love relationships, in our passions. That's how we get to know the divine in an embodied sense. So this is the world of alchemy. And from that perspective, our body is our first teacher. The body isn't a problem that we have. Yeah, we have to fix it. We have to make it look a certain way, control it. It's from this perspective, the body is our guide and our teacher. And we're talking about the physical body, but also the subtle body is the movement of the life force, or most people know the word chi, this life force.
Yes.
That's the subtle body.
Yes.
And how it's moving and how we respond. When I get to be with my granddaughter, how does my subtle body respond? When I have to look at my tax returns, how does my subtle body respond?
Yes.
That's the felt sense.
That's the discernment.
Body felt sense is tuning in. What's happening to that chi body or that soul body? And that's how we know where to go, what to do next. even, and we'll get to talking about medicinals, flower essences, essential oils. How do I know? You can go and pay someone to tell you, or you can learn to use your own body as the instrument, or, do a little of both. But essentially, we want to train our own divine instrument,
Now,
our bodies.
I love this conversation, Lorie, because and it's 8:30, so we'll probably take a quick break. But I'm gonna tease the audience and me, because we're gonna have this conversation. It's that discernment between figuring out what feels right, and big anchor words for me when I go into my feeling body. What's authentic and genuine to me? It's like this.
Exactly.
It just, okay, what feels authentic and genuine to me. So when we come back from a commercial break, let's tap into that. If you guys are on YouTube, we're going to go noodle a little bit and play over there. So with that, Benny, let's run a quick commercial, and we will come back. And we are talking about the alchemy of inner work, the body, the senses, and all that juicy stuff. Sue Lundquist here with the Gratitude Cafe. We'll be right back, you guys.
Great.
All clear. Live on YouTube still.
Yay. Okay, there's the chat. I'm going to make sure that's open. All right, YouTubers. Yay. How do you like this so far?
I personally love it. I'm
good. I do too. This is such
like, getting to talk about what I care about the most.
I know. Yeah, this and I say this on it's about, what do I say? I have it. I'm in a new perspective, new thoughts, new ideas, a new you. Take what resonates. Take what resonates and leave the rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your ACT acronym, I really like, Sue. It's say that. So it's the A is awareness.
Yep. It's ACT now. So awareness, clarity.
That.
So in the clarity is the education, because you've had the awareness and now you're like, oh, I got to get clear on that.
Yes.
So the education, that's where the teacher, us,
yes.
a video, a song, somebody says something.
Yes.
If you're in that awareness state, juicy,
Beautiful.
Sexy stuff, right?
Yes. And
so
then the transform.
Yeah. So within the education, and then you have to process said education.
Yeah.
Then you move into the transformation, because you've been processing, and within the transformation, you then align and integrate and figure out how that hat best fits on you.
Yeah. So, then, you've been an alchemist all along. Because, alchemy is the art of transformation. That's what it is. And that is, transformation means I'm moving not from here to like just depletion, aging, exhaustion, but rather from here to more skill, more elegance, more excitement, more joy. Yeah. Transformation. Yeah. So so
I've been
I recognized you. We've been traveling the alchemical path for a long time. Yeah.
And there's so many of us that can relate and understand that, right?
Yes.
There's so many of us.
Anyone ready to come back?
Yep, let's do it. All righty. Benny, you've got such a knack. I love that. Thank you for picking such the great music. Alchemy of Inner Work, the alchemist. The alchemist in me sees the alchemist in you. My
big
shine
time.
sees
Big
you.
Time. Big time. Yes.
Wow. So we were talking about, what were we talking about when we left?
Talking about the body,
the body,
and the body as this instrument of discernment that really, in a way, allows us to tap into our own divine wisdom.
Now with that, yes, that's where I wanted to go, because there's this little side note that's going to go, I don't trust my body. I don't trust my choices, because my past experiences have created this environment for me.
Yes.
So how do I reclaim myself, my language stuff I talk about, and start to change the neural pathways, change the 3D energy, the 5D energy, create that evolution so I can begin. I change the experiences, and with the changing of the experience builds confidence, purpose, power, and neural pathways, and the experience around me, right?
Yes. Well, what you're saying there, of course, is why, as much as this work is filled with joy, excitement, creativity, it's also, and you used the word earlier, you need courage.
Yes.
It takes courage.
And
it takes companionship, that your show's on every week, that we build community, that, there are books, because we need that support to do this inner work.
Yes.
Because, as you said, our bodies, which are these divine instruments, have been very maligned by the culture, treated as if they're just an accessory. The body's just an accessory. Can I fix it up and make it look good? And
yeah,
as opposed to this incredibly sensitive organ of knowing.
Right.
In addition, it's also the place where we hold all that trauma, as you know. I mean, neurologically, we don't hold the trauma in our conscious mind. We hold it, we stash those memories in the body.
Yeah, and that body memory becomes a disease in the BODY. And I mean, audience, you and Lorie, I think you will agree to this. Separate yourself from your BODY. It's not who you are. Your body is the vessel. Take care of it, love on it. But have the observer, look at it from an observer and love on it. And if you can, detach and separate yourself, but still keep it in this bubble of love and compassion, and learn from that space, right?
And that's the key to the body felt sense, what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you said at the beginning, what is this body felt sense? And I said, that's sort of the key to all the work.
Yeah.
The body felt sense is when we reverse the awareness, as we're talking about, start to look inside, feel inside, and care about what I'm feeling.
Mm.
And in order to do that, of course, we need that little bit of space. It's like there's a hovering part of our brains. It has a fancy name, the prefrontal medial cortex.
Yeah.
But it's really just a hovering. It's like a little part of our brain that can hover over and love on and care deeply about what I'm feeling inside.
Mm.
And the body felt sense, it's not exactly physical. It's learning to actually feel how your chi is moving. So you go in there and those feelings like when I was coming on the show, I always get this little bit of tightness on my diaphragm when I'm getting ready to talk about stuff I really care about. I just get I get my diaphragm tightens up. It's not really a measurable thing. It's like the energy there starts to gather up. And if I go in there and say, oh, okay, there's that. And it's okay. I can use the word tight, I can use the word, whatever comes to me there, but I use it not as a judgment, but as I'm seeing that tightness there. Honestly, even doing this now with you, Sue, it's like it just wanted me to recognize it. And to care about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, that was
here,
tight.
Babe. You're safe here.
You're safe. And then it's like, oh, maybe that wasn't just tightness. That was also excitement to meet Sue, to see who she is, to see what comes up. So right in there, that was an alchemical transformation. So the body felt sense is the reversal, the awareness, the caring, the non-judgmental noticing.
Noticing. Did you hear that, audience? Noticing.
Yes.
It's the noticing, the observer.
The witnessing, witnessing.
The language that we're using here. And I got to advocate for the audience. They're going to be like, what in the world are you talking about? Because we've got so much stimulation in our 3D world, and to settle us down, our body felt senses, settle us down, to shine a light. Great. Yes. I just got a word from a colleague the other day. She said, we're intranauts. Ah,
intronauts. So we're not
I did that.
astronauts. I know. I was
Totally.
like, oh my gosh.
Yes,
My
taken
friend,
that.
yeah, she's a
Intronaut.
yogi. She's, a wild out. She said, yeah, we're intronauts. In other words, we're exploring those inner spaces.
I love that.
Isn't that great? I know.
Exploring the inner
space.
Oh my God. Tell her
And
thank you.
I will, Alana. Shout out to Alana. Yeah. So just like there are billions of stars out there are billions of stars and spaces and infinite heavens and galaxies in that inner world. And the body felt, yeah.
Yeah, no,
that body felt sense is how we begin. It's like, okay, traveling in. Jeez.
Great. I'm going to segue over to, because I hear the question coming up, how do I tap in? That keeps coming up. And I was actually having this conversation. And there's an analogy I use when I'm talking about my frequency, my different frequency, when I'm tapping into spirit and I'm allowing my body to be the conduit to hear the messages. And when I'm teaching or talking about what that frequency looks like, I use the analogy of an oscillating fan. So a fan's going slow and you can see the pedals, right? That's 3D density where we're at. We're hard centers, walls, all of that. You can still see us. When you turn that volume up, when you turn the energy up, expansion, it becomes a blur, a smear. Yeah. How do we provide information, education, a little snippet of, well, I don't have that radio frequency. That was another language that we were talking about last night. I don't know how to tune into that frequency, that shine, that turn up the volume, turn up the frequency. What do you say? Did you freeze? Where did you go, Lorie? Did you just freeze up? Benny, did you?
Did.
She did. She looks beautiful. She's just smiling.
Frozen in time.
Frozen in time. Okay, we'll get you back in just a minute, Lorie. I'm going to keep talking to the radio world and the YouTube world. We are absolutely having a in-depth conversation with Lorie. And actually, Lorie and her husband, Benjamin Fox, created this baby. It's the Alchemy of Inner Work, a guide for turning illness and suffering into true health and well-being. So audience, you have heard me, clients, you've heard me talk about this, especially in my C2C course. Turn this into a question. Don't let it just be a title for you. Turn it into a question. Ask yourself. That's the awareness practice. When I talk to you about my 3 phases of transformation, that awareness is a practice and versus going numb or shutting down. It's the alchemy of inner work and creating that awareness. So ask yourself, do I want illness? Do I want suffering, which is that contraction? Hi, lovely. Or do I want to have true health and well-being? And I know for myself, when I was starting the alchemy, the transformation for myself, I didn't even know what health, love, I didn't know what love meant to me. I didn't know how to feel it. I didn't know how to sense it. I knew that I had a skewed sense of it from my past, adjective to describe, no emotional charge. It's just traumas, whatever it is, whatever that stuff is. So that's why we bring in the authors and the teachers like yourself and talking about that inner work and the to-dos. So I don't know where you froze up, sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly either, but the to-dos, I think now we just have a few minutes. So the to-dos. So when you said people will be saying, well, how do I get to this body felt sense? That's a lot. We're teaching that in the book. We're teaching that in our network program. So if people want to learn more, anewpossibility.com, read the book, but so we teach these things, but the most important thing is just to go into the feeling level of the body in a non-judgment. There are no rights, no shoulds, you just get to be friendly. Like that's the word I'll say, be friendly, like as if you're sitting next to a friend on a park bench. The other things that we talk about in the book, really, we finished this book before the pandemic, but everything in here is related to how do we get through this mess.
Yes.
So there are actual very simple, what I call protocols for shock, to have clarity of mind,
Right.
for just when you feel depleted, when you need protection,
Mm-hmm.
and to rediscover, say, hope and vision in your life. And they're very simple, actual points on the body that we describe, essential oils that people can use, and flower essences, which are these wonderful, wonderful alchemical solutions made of flowers, water, and light.
I know for myself, my senses are lit up, obviously, but smell to me is so heightened and
Yes.
so important.
Yes.
And it will either transform me or lock me right in here. And I'm like, okay,
Yes.
okay, I'm feeling that memory again, or looking in and going, okay, I got to release that. I got to get rid,
Yes. And
we don't
that's
want that in our bodies, right?
Right. And that's your body felt sense being your discriminating factor. And the oils, which are they're an alchemical tool. Essential oils were discovered by alchemists.
Yes.
So we, just to give people something to take away today, because I feel like we're all under so much stress, just by the nature of, self-care during a pandemic like this, worrying about others, connecting in all different ways, but not so much just body to body as we're, so there's a point, an acupuncture point, that is like my go-to first aid that everyone can do right now.
Radio world, I'll try and get a picture of this.
Yes. And I can even send you a little diagram.
Okay, great.
But this point is right in the center of your palm. If you just run your finger's going to run right into it. Just lightly run your finger along your palm. It's kind of between the first and second. Another way to do it is make a fist. And where your middle finger rests is the point.
That is really
cool?
interesting to me, because
and you can feel the sensitivity of it.
Oh, it is super sensitive on me, like sensitive, like, yeah.
It is. And that's on what's called the pericardium or heart protector meridian. This point is like the doorway to the fascial shield that protects your heart.
Because this has always been a very, it's a sensual thing. It's we talk about the sensual, that it becomes so tactile.
It's an energy center in the body. And what the pericardium's job is to be what we would call a semi-permeable membrane to the heart. Allows love in, keeps toxic energies out.
Oh, audience, you got to do this. I will totally get the graph.
And get this. Wait. I'm not done. Okay. It's got a name. The Chinese named every one of these points. I have another book called Kigo, which it's a Spirit of the Points book for anyone who wants more on points. Kigo, Kigo. And it talks about all these acupuncture points, the poetry, the names, the mythology of those points. So this point that we're working with right now on the palm, which you can touch if you're waiting on the grocery line, if you are upset in an argument, nobody really notices that you happen to be touching this point in the middle of your hand, calming your heart down, protecting your heart, not shutting it down rigid, but this flexible membrane. And the name of the point is, translation, Palace of Weariness. So it's the palace that we go to when we need to rest, to recover, to restore ourselves. Anytime, but particularly now, we all need this point.
Oh,
Palace of Weariness. Beautiful.
Oh, it so resonates. I had no idea, but this was, and it has always been a place in my hand. I had no idea. And of course,
well, that's because you're a very fiery person, and this is a fire point. So I would have diagnosed you long ago. I would have done that point on you long ago.
Oh, totally. And it does. It's that instant just, and it's just.
Yes,
so
right? You can feel it go straight to
Oh.
this. It's the whole, what we call this upper kind of cauldron, the alchemy of the heart, the lungs, the chest.
Yeah.
This is one of your doorways. And just to take that one step further, in the book, we talk about the application of oils to that point. So anyone who wants to take it one step further, this is my little damask rose essential oil that I use on that point. Rose, you think of the rose, it's open but protected. It's open, but it's got those thorns just in case. So that's something that everyone, I think I actually carry this around with me just, if I need it. And as you say, my subtle body, even just now opening it, my body felt senses, okay, it's all okay.
All okay. Audience, did you hear that? Did you feel that? Did you sense that? Do you want it to be all okay and just to rest the body? Just give it a rest, right? Just give it a rest. And I say that with no connotation other than just pure love. You are going to get those tips and tools in the Alchemy of Inner Work. Lorie and her husband, Benjamin, have worked diligently and beautifully to give you those tips and tools. So why not? Do you want health? Do you want vitality? Do you want that inner peace? Do you want to be able to show up like that for your employers, with your children, your grandchildren? Ask yourself that. And if that's something that's important to you, no judgment, jump on it. Get the book. Act now. Right? Act now. Bam.
Yeah.
There's that analogy, and I was talking about this, and there was a wise story about, there's a brick bullion on the ground, and they're going to walk right by it. We know the value of it.
Yes.
Here's your gold chunk right here, guys.
Beautiful.
Don't walk by. The Art of Alchemy Inner Work. You, of course, can go to www.anewpossibility.com. Lorie's got some other books. In this book, it talks about other modalities that you can incorporate, not only with just real life 3D practical tools, where I'm at. Yes, I am 5D and all that, but I'm also very deep seated in 3D practicality, because that's where our bodies are living right now. And we need to regulate.
Yes.
Essence, flowers. I'm totally, the flower essence and those essence have really been coming into my awareness again. I'm like, okay, I heard you. I will check into that again. But it's so important. And why not if it feels good?
Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly.
Right?
Beautiful.
We've got like 2 minutes, 2 minutes ish, 4 minutes or something like that. Where would you like to take this little nibbit in this last couple minutes? Oh, we got a minute left.
Okay, 1 minute. So the little nibbit that I'd like to take, besides saying this was a total love fest. So perfect for moving towards Valentine's Day. I felt so nourished, heart nourished by you. But the little snippet that I want to bring forward again is, as you said, Sue, this work that we do on our own subtle bodies, our own souls, that inner work leads to the outer change. And I can only say that with the kind of assertiveness that I have, because I've seen it. I've been in practice over 30 years. I have seen it, miracles happen.
Oh, yeah.
Miracles through inner work in the arena of relationship, creativity, health, and the earth is calling out for us to do this so that we can create a new consciousness for our planet.
Beautiful.
And we do it ourselves, and then we do it together, and we can do it. So
if you got a squeaky wheel, guys, you're here listening to this for a reason. Follow your inner guidance, follow that inner shine. Get the book, Act now, do the work that is creating that transformation, however that looks in yourself. All right, that is it for today. I love all of you. Lorie, thank you so much. Hang tight just a minute.
Okay.
All right, to all the radio world, the YouTube world, I love you guys. Go to SueLundquist.com/C2C or Sue Lundquist and get the newsletter, get the copy of the radio show, whatever it is that you desire, do it. But until next time, each of you are